Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm back for more. We're going to continue part two of our hour a day investor SOP review. Okay. So let me get a screen share here. Last time we left off right after we made the offer on houses. I'm going to start with how to make an offer on land, and then we're going to work on finishing out the process of the hour a day investor. That's my mug right there. Bam, let's go. Okay, so making an offer on land. All right. So we left off doing comps. Let me get us zoomed in here again. Okay. After doing comps, you'll have created your MAO, your maximum allowable offer. You do not want to offer more than this because it means you might not make as much money as you want to. Okay. So your MAO exists for a reason. So you don't just start willy-nilly making offers. All right. So then with offering on land, you never want to give them the number over the phone, ever. Okay. Not over the phone, not over text. You only want to send an official offer. The reason why is if you give an offer that's too low, you just told them to ignore every future communication with you. And if you don't have enough rapport to give them a low offer, then they're never going to talk to you again. You just killed that lead. And I'm here to teach you how to make money off of leads, not kill leads. All right. So never make the offer over the phone. I'll send you an official offer. I don't know what it's going to be yet. My team's almost done reviewing it. If they're pushing you, we're going to turn it into service. Hey, we just want to make sure we have all the correct details before we make an offer. Okay. So this is the energy we want to keep. Keep in mind, we're a happy-go-lucky organization that prioritizes customer service. All right. Well, how much are you going to pay me? Look, we really don't know. If you want a ballpark range, I can work on getting you one. But you know what? We're really not sure yet because we have to make sure it has all of the features we're looking for. Right. So as soon as underwriting or my team is done, we will have that number for you and we'll send it right over. And the other part is we don't want them to know. We want them to spend time in their emotions thinking about this offer. If we tell them right away, they're going to know right away whether they should respect us or disrespect us. If we wait, we are going to build up romance. We're going to build up mystery. We're going to build up curiosity. They're going to be thinking about us. Okay. And that's what we want. We don't want to tell them too soon and blow it out of the water. We want their brain power focused on us. We want to build the likeness on us. So that's why we don't let them know as well. It gives them time to be romantic about our relationship. The more time they spend thinking about you, the better off you're going to be when you actually make that offer. Because they're going to be like, oh, even if it is too low, they're going to be more patient with you because they've been thinking about you for a week. Like, well, I don't want to start this whole process over again with somebody else, right? And that's kind of the attitude that we're going for here. All right. So in our first call, our goal is to set up a follow-up call to walk them through the contract. All right. So, hey, yeah, so can I book a call with you? In the first script up top, it says, I'll actually just scroll up to it. It says right here under land, it says, have you ever sold a piece of land before? If no, okay, got it. Since you haven't, I would love to walk you through the whole contract when you receive it. Are you okay to make an appointment around 2 p.m. 2 days from now? I just want to make sure that you are super clear on what you are signing. We're poising this as customer service, right? No one's offering to walk through a contract. All right. But we are. Why? Because we're different, because we're badass, because we are worth you loving. And if you remember in the original videos, we want them to have four emotions. Let's see if I remember them. We want them to love us. We want them to think we have integrity. We want them to respect us. And we want them to think that we have compassion. Okay. If we have these four aspects, that equals a shitload of rapport. And that's what we need. They're going to know we gave them the best offer possible if they think we are those four things. All right. So let's go back down to the contract. So now we've made that appointment. Hopefully they said yes. Okay. And we want, let's see, it's right here. Okay, I recommend is when you hop on the call, we have this conversation. Okay, if the offer is not ready yet, we want to say, hey there, your offer is almost complete. It looks like our team is nearly done with the research and it will be completed in about 30 to 40 minutes or whatever the time frame is. If your team's actually behind, you can buy more time with this, finalize the offer, and then schedule a call for later that day. Okay, so that's one option. The next option, if the offer is ready, don't send it yet. Wait till the call starts. You should almost have your DocuSign pulled up, ready to click send. Okay, so if the offer is ready, send it as soon as they answer the call and say, hey there, we just sent the offer over to you. It should be in your email by now. Let me know when you open it and I will walk you through it. Okay, we have an amazing service here. We look like we really have our stuff together when we're this synchronized. With this kind of investing, you simply doing what you said you were going to do. You booked the call, you showed up, you said you were going to send the offer, you did. You said you were going to walk them through it, and here you are. So we have 3 points that we have integrity where we actually did what we said we were going to do. This is extremely important in building a long-lasting relationship. So we will walk you through it. Why is it, and I've already covered some of this, but why is it important to not give them the offer over the phone? And it's we want their emotional buy-in over time. And telling them the offer too early will lose their buy-in. They'll know to ignore us, to disrespect us. We just talked about that. So letting the suspense and the mystery build will help them lean in your favor by the time they actually get the offer. The next question, why is it important to review the offer with them on the phone? When you're on the phone with them and as they see the offer, it's going to help with their emotional regulation. Okay, they're not going to be as outraged as they would be. So for example, if you just sent the offer and it's low and they weren't on the phone with you, they'd probably say, I knew he was going to lowball me. I knew he was going to do this. And then they would work themselves all up. Now, if you're actually on the phone with them while they're looking through this, they're actually going to be like, oh, you know, it was a little lower than what I expected it to be. You know, their emotional range is not going to be nearly as excessive. And I think we all know once someone gets upset or pissed off or emotionally charged, it's very hard to bring them back down. Okay, so then that's exactly why we want to be with their emotional regulation. They won't be as outwardly disappointed if you're sitting right there with them. And this will cause for a better experience for you and your seller. Okay, very important. And now we can do live negotiating or we can talk on the phone. Now, some ninja tips here would be something I'm calling proactive price reduction. All right. What I recommend is on the first call that we make and we go through our due diligence checklist, that one of the things we do is we bring up how much this stuff will cost. So let's say the property is wooded and we find that out on the first call. Instead of telling them how much we pay, we could say something like, you know, did you know that in order to clear an acre of land, it costs about $25,000? You know, isn't that crazy? I thought it would be much more expensive than that. I'm surprised it's only 25,000, right? That could be something that you say, and then skim off the topic. And then if it doesn't have utilities, you could say, did you know that the city doesn't pay for utilities? You know, I would think that the city would pay for it or that the electric company would pay for it because now they're going to start billing us. But no, we actually have to pay $10,000 to get a well dug and another $10,000 to get electricity to the property. And what you're doing here is you could call, I call it proactive price reduction, okay? And proactive price objections is what it's called, proactive price objection. So we are being proactive about their price objections. Then if they get a low offer, we can go back to that and say, oh man, hey, this is lower than I thought. Oh, you know, I'm sorry. The other day when we spoke about clearing the land, that was going to be about $25,000. I'm sorry. I was under the impression that I was going to do that. Were you going to do that? If you're going to clear the land, I can increase this offer right now. for you. You know, so now you're making it all make sense to them. They think we have integrity. We brought it up early and we're talking about it again. Okay. So pay attention to the proactive price objection part of the conversation on call 1 as well, because that's going to help you get through this too. All right. So now we've got the contract. Hopefully they accept the offer. Sending the contract I have here at 15 minutes. Okay, so this is what we're doing. You guys are going to prepare this contract before this call, and you're going to queue it up for sending. So I'm imagining this would take 15 minutes for us to start. So I say you should always strive to send contracts using digital signature software so you could track when they opened it. There's a couple things. Signed seal is one of them. PandaDoc is another, and DocuSign is another. One, okay? These are the 3 softwares that I would recommend that we use. There's a bunch out there. Use whatever works for you, but this stuff works really good. Your contract should be uploaded into the software so you can send them as quickly as possible. Update the fields on your contract to your agreed terms and hit send. Ninja tip. If you know they are considering signing, spelled this wrong here, you can book a call for the day they receive it and walk them through the entire contract. We already covered that. If your relationship is good with the seller, call them and let them know you've sent it. If you have a decent relationship, just text them and let them know it was sent. This is if you don't have the agreement for the booked call. Ninja tip, if you use a digital signature software, create a Loom video of you walking them through the whole contract. So if you don't have the call booked, or if they're being a little difficult or evasive, go above and beyond. Hey, I wanted to send this with this recorded video of me walking you through it. Call me if you have any questions. So now all of our bases are covered. Okay, this says 15 minutes, but this should really become 5 to 10 minutes after you get a couple of reps in. All right, so now the contract's out. Let's see. After sending the contract, so let's say we talked about those 3 leads earlier. So we have 10 becomes 3. 3 of them get the secondary call, get the making offer call, and get the contract sent. Okay, so now on those 3 leads, we have another 45 minutes. So now we're at 4.5 hours, right? To work 10 leads to get to 3 contracts. We worked 4.5 hours. All right, that is the goal of this system. That's the whole point of mapping this out. You see, everything has a time on it. And I've already done the math because I want you to be able to do this in 1 hour a day. That's how much I want you to be able to do this in. Okay, that's the goal. 5 hours a week, 1 hour a day. So now we're at 4 hours and 30 minutes. So now you have 30 minutes left in this week to get some disposition, to get your buyers, and to get this property in front of your buyers. Okay. Now with this system, this means you can work 10 hours a week and send out 3 contracts a week. Think about how much you could scale your business. Now, dispoing, I have broken down into 2 areas. We have dispoing houses and dispoing land. So for dispoing houses, dispoing the deal is extremely important. And there's only so many ways to do this. You can keep it as a buy and hold. You can flip it yourself. You can wholesale it to a flipper. You can wholesale it to a buy and hold investor. You can wholesale it to a creative finance investor. Or you could wholetail it and put it on the MLS. So there's a series of options you can do, and I'll even add the wholetail as like a novation. It's kind of a twofer there. So then dispositions for land. You can sell it to a builder at a big discount. You could sell it to a buyer at a regular discount. You could sell it to a neighbor at another discount, or you could sell it on the MLS for your smallest discount. Now, the reason why I put these things here is because all these things affect your profit. Selling it to a builder will affect your profit the most. They want to buy the lot for the cheapest possible because of what they're going to do with it. Selling it to a buyer could be a medium discount. Maybe it's not as big as the builder one because they're going to be potentially an end user. Selling it to a neighbor could be also for a small discount because maybe they don't want someone building land next to their land. Maybe they want to put something on that, or maybe they just don't want to mess with neighbors at all. But selling it to a neighbor is also very important. And then you could also list it on the MLS. And I really like this strategy. There's softwares out there. One's called brokerlist.com. And I think the other one's called flatfeemls.com. Okay, so these are huge wins for land investors. You can take your contract, bring it to these sites, and list your parcel of land on the MLS. And what this does, this puts you in front of retail buyers. Retail buyers pay the most. And that's why I like the MLS strategy first. That's why it says recommended. Now, I really recommend you do all of these, but you start with the MLS because that could take the longest to sell. And after you put it on the MLS, you start shopping builders, buyers, and neighbors. Okay? That's how we dispo land. Well, now let's talk about how to find these buyers. So number one, I'll put you in front of buyers. If you get a property under contract, I will actually take that property and I will put it on my Facebook wall. And I will tell all my clients, I have about 13,000 followers. And then very often people comment, you should have a 3 to 5 buyer conversations from my help alone. I do not JV with you or anything like that. I just make the introduction. It's all up to you. Next part, Facebook groups. Facebook groups are extremely powerful right now. Jump inside 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 Facebook groups. Make a post in every group. Get the word out there that you have a piece of land and you need a buyer for it. Or you have a house and you need a buyer for it, okay? We can also pull cash buyer lists and we can call and text them to see if they're buying more houses or more land in the area. We do that all the time. I have a website called dispothedeal.com that's completely free that you could then upload your properties to and put it on an online marketplace that thousands of investors have access to. You can use investorbase.com, which my friend owns. His name's Daniel McClam. He's awesome. I'm going to have him on one of our group coaching calls coming up here soon. They have a software that's just like Investor Lift, but it's much cheaper and you can really do a bunch of deep dive research on that. You could also shop it to your previous buyers that you've worked with in the past, or you can shop it at REI groups or RIA groups, as people call it. All right. So these are the ways you're going to find buyers to sell leads. Working with buyers will be likely 5 minutes per conversations and another 5 minutes when they say yes. A total of 10 minutes if it all goes well. I have a lot of clients that just text buyers and send the deal and send the address and then it's all done over text message. It literally takes seconds to do that. So down here, I have how to find interested buyers, Facebook groups, cold calling, texting, referrals. We want to find out their desired criteria. We want to send our deal over. I recommend putting all the photos and all the description inside of a Google Drive folder and just sharing that Google Drive folder with everybody so they have everything that they need right in there. Then we send them the contract. And then once they sign the contract, we send it to the title company. And that's it. Okay. Now this could take up to 10 minutes, all right, per person. So those 3 leads at 10 minutes should be another 30 minutes. We're at exactly 5 hours a week to get from 10 interested leads to 3 qualified leads to 3 contracts sent out, and then even in the hands of buyers. All right. So we're exactly at our 5-hour mark. You can do it. You did it. You crushed it. So your goal in executing this system should be to at least be generating 10 leads per week, and you'll be at your 5-hour limit. Now, next up, what I'm going to cover is a flow chart that's going to walk you through this entire process. And I'm going to give you a copy of the flow chart so you can then mimic it and keep it for yourself. Now, between this SOP I just have, so you're going to have these videos of me walking you through it. You're going to have this SOP and you're going to have the flow chart. You're going to have an entire department handed directly to you. All you need to do now is figure out who's going to be responsible and who's going to get it done. All right, guys, that's the end of this video. We covered the full SOP review of the hour a day investor. Let's kick some ass and let's make some money. See.